Hello and welcome to our channel, Amazing Things. My name is Stacy, and today we have another What's for Dinner video. So today we are going to be making Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. This was a new recipe for us, one that we haven't tried before, and I can tell you everybody loved it. Definitely a family favorite. We're going to put this one in the rotation. The only critique from Husband Critique was that the meat was not cut small enough. And wanted it cut smaller. But other than that, taste, flavor, speed, this one was a super fast one, which was great because then we can do this after school activities when we don't have so much time and we need to get homework done and get in bed and all of that. So absolutely love this recipe. The only other thing I changed too was I made my own hoagie rolls. I just used the bread recipe that I have posted in another video. And instead of making one big loaf, I made 5 little small loaves and cooked them in a 9x13 pan. Same amount of time and everything, same ingredients, and I did just roll them out and roll them up like I would my loaf. However, I just did it on a smaller section and did 5 little hoagie rolls, and I did toast the rolls ahead of time, so you will see all of that in the video. But again, excellent recipe. Thumbs up from all of us. So I hope you try this one as well. Let's get started.
Okay, so you will see in here that I have already pre-cut our vegetables, and we are going to add 2 tablespoons of oil. Vegetable or canola is fine. We do not like mushrooms, so I did extra bell peppers and onions in ours. But if you want mushrooms, by all means, go ahead and add it. Next, you're going to add a tablespoon of the Montreal steak seasoning. This is our favorite steak seasoning. It is the one the recipe called for, but if you have another steak seasoning that's your favorite, go ahead and add that. So once you add all of that in, you're just going to toss the vegetables, make sure everything is coated. And like I said, this was all the vegetables were prepared ahead of time, so it makes it a lot easier to get it on the table faster. So if you have things coming up and you want to prepare this ahead of time, this is a great recipe for that. So once you have it all mixed together, you're going to put it on your sheet pan. I have a large sheet pan and I covered it in foil. And I'm just going to spread out all the vegetables so that they can cook evenly, and then it says in the recipe to leave space for the meat in the middle. So that's what I am doing now. I'm going to keep the same bowl, and we're going to get the meat. Now I used round steak cut thinly. It was half the price of flank steak and just as delicious. So if you're looking for a more affordable option, go ahead and use the round steak that's cut thinly. And you're going to add a tablespoon of the steak seasoning. And I did try to make sure it covered both of them. And then you're going to add in your oil. So we'll do a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, I'm sorry, of that. And then I'm just going to toss that, make sure everything is coated. I do like the round steak as well, just because it is a softer cut of meat. So, and this one was already cut thinly, so we're just going to put that right in the middle there and spread it out so it'll cook evenly. And I think next time I will actually add a few more vegetables. I felt like we could have a few more veggies on there, and my kids love peppers and onions, so the more vegetables I can get in there, the better. But I felt like I could have added a few more veggies and still been okay with the amount of meat that we had. So once everything is put on the pan, you're going to move the rack in your oven up to the tallest setting. They say you want it about 4 inches from the broiler, and you're going to cook this on broil. So while that is cooking, I am going to get the bread ready, so you can see that the bread is ready there, and I've cooked it, so now it's time to flip the meat over. So it's cooked about half the time now. And we're just going to toss the vegetables, make sure that they're all getting cooked evenly. And then we'll put that back in the oven to cook for the second half. Okay, once that has cooked, we are going to take it out. And you're going to take your meat, and that's why I have the cutting board there. We're going to take the meat off of the pan and put it on the cutting board so it can rest. And in the recipe it says to go ahead and cover it. So you'll see in a moment that I will cover it with some tin foil so that the juices can settle and the meat will rest. We're just going to toss the veggies and all the juice and seasonings. And then we'll put those back in just to get a little bit softer. All right, when the veggies are ready, we're going to take those out. And now I'm going to toast our buns. You don't have to, this is an extra step, but it was delicious. And I'll say on the buns, the only thing I wish I would have done is not cut them all the way through, maybe left them so that there was a little bit, kind of like hot dog buns where you have a little bit still attached. But other than that, the homemade bread was delicious. So now all we're going to do is we're going to cut, and as I said earlier in the video, husband wanted it cut a little bit thinner, more like thin shavings rather than littler chunks. So next time I'll probably just cut those a little bit smaller. But this was delicious and cooked super fast. All right, now that the bread is toasted and the meat is cut, we're going to start adding all the meat in with the veggies and just toss it to get everything mixed together and all the seasonings mixed together. I would say this whole process took just maybe 15 minutes. It was perfect. We didn't get home till later because of after-school activities. So this recipe was really good, cooked fast, and having the vegetables pre-cut also helped. We are going to add provolone cheese onto ours. You'll see there's a little section that is cut out. My son has a dairy allergy, so his is not going to have cheese. But the rest of them, we're going to just cover the rest of it with the provolone cheese, and then I'm going to put it back in the oven to melt it on to our vegetables and meat. And just to melt it only takes a couple, maybe a minute or two at the most. So I'm going to take our homemade hoagie rolls here, and I'm cutting this one in half for the kiddos. They're not going to eat a whole one, and then that way we also have leftovers for husband's lunch. So my son gets his first without the cheese, so we're going to get that all put together. And he absolutely loves red peppers, so I'm going to make sure he gets extra there. And like I said, this was a family favorite. The kids loved it. They keep asking for more. So for the next one, for my daughter, she's going to want the cheese. So I'm just going to scoop up a section that has the cheese. Okay, so let me know in the comments below if you try this one, and thanks for watching.